Some people are really stuck in feeling blocked and not knowing how to move past it or how to even address it in lots of ways. When you are stuck in something, sometimes we have to wait for all the pieces to come together before we can even look at it in a way that we can shift it or move it. It's the same with emotion and, trauma. We've been talking a lot about that recently. Hey guys, it is Mel from Mel Ryan 100% You, and I am just jumping on for our weekly update. It is retreat night for me. It's the start of our retreat with the beautiful girls that are coming. And because there's such a big content, I am doing an online session, which I think is such a beautiful way to do it because it really gets you to start thinking about yourself and what you're unpacking and what you're working on for the whole week before. So I'm so excited to be able to run this retreat because it's been a really long time coming. I was meant to do it back in February when I fell over and broke my kneecap, and so everything had to be on pause. And I think in looking back to see where the work has evolved to now, I really see in lots of ways why that would happen. And I think that this retreat is the integration of my work and being able to put together a workbook that's over 200 pages. I'm so excited to not only share this retreat with the beautiful people coming, but also to see the shift and transformation that I absolutely know will come about because I've seen it before and it's just got even better. So I can't wait to get that feedback and see how it changes people's lives and how much they know how to support themselves better afterwards. That's why I do what I do. So I'm really excited and just wanted to share that with you. It's nice to feel like there's that full circle of coming back to do what you love. But really, I'm here to update you with what's been going on collectively this week. There has been a shift, which there's still probably two people in both sides of the coin at the moment. Some people are really stuck in feeling blocked and not knowing how to move past it or how to even address it in lots of ways. When you are stuck in something, sometimes we have to wait for all the pieces to come together before we can even look at it in a way that we can shift it or move it. It's the same with emotion and, trauma. We've been talking a lot about that recently. There's something that I really wanted to touch base on. We talk a lot about trying to regulate our nervous system, and it's a great thing to do. And there's some beautiful exercises out there. In fact, we do a lot of that, in the retreat and working with me as well, because it's part of clearing stuff. But our body is going to react to something because it's trying to give us a story and trying to tell us something. And that, when we explore it and unpack it, is going to take us on a little journey for us to understand ourselves better. If we keep stepping in and trying to just regulate a nervous system without even exploring what's going on for us, then again, what we're doing is we're just avoiding the situation, or where, we talk about grief has such a beautiful story behind what it's trying to teach us and what it's trying to show us and how it's really trying to reconnect us to us. There's a depth to it. So there's a happy medium, of course, in all of this. Like, there's no right or wrong way. But it's just be mindful, if we keep continuously saving and fixing and regulating our nervous system, we need to ask the question first, why does it keep going out? Why am I keeping on getting anxiety? Why am I not in that calm space? What's happening? Because exploring that is going to give us some insight into being able to support ourselves and understand ourselves that little bit better. So I just wanted to drop that off. I think that's really important. That said, the shift on the other side is that people are coming out of, and this will take a few weeks, it always seems to do that, but from being stuck to coming out of, instead of trying to fix it the way I thought it was going to be fixed, I'm actually seeing it unfold in a totally different way. So let me explain that better. It's like I wasn't going to move because I had on my list, my pros and cons. Well, my family here, I want to stay connected to my family, safe at work, and I really don't want to leave my colleagues at work. When we unpack the truth, your work friends are your work friends. You may not keep them, not for everyone, but you may not keep them if you change jobs, and that's okay. You're totally allowed. But when we stay because we're staying for these friends, it's not entirely our truth. It's not the true connection. The same sometimes even with family. I had someone I was talking to, and there's a real disconnecting their family. They speak more on the phone. They have that kind of relationship, Facebook, all of that, rather than the one-to-one. And they see each other once a year. And so in being able to think about moving, when you look at the truth or the reality of the situation and you put it back on the table, the clarity that sometimes drops in when you get to see the whole truth of what's going on can make it easier for you to make decisions. They're just examples, of course. There's so many more factors that come into it. But sometimes we convince ourselves of what we think something is or what it should be, and it's not entirely what the facts are to us. So a lot of people have been sitting in that, and they're just starting to unpack it in a way that they've stepped out, and it makes it clearer, and it makes a little bit more sense for them to be able to make decisions that I feel right for them. And that's such an important thing when we reconnect to what that is, because it pulls us along to what the next choice and the next path is for us. Now, the last little bit that came in this week, which I thought was it's very similar, but very clever, is looking at families and relationships and where it's not working. And instead of playing the cards like it's not fair, you shouldn't do that, or you should respect your elders, or those kind of real older ways that we used to try and manipulate and make people, toe the line and do what we wanted. It's looking at it in a way going, how can we reframe that and introduce a new plan? So new wording to that would be, instead of, respecting your elders type thing, it would be, hey, how can we work together to make sure that we both get something that works for us? It's, making teams. So there's been a lot of rewording and a lot of seeing it to go, I don't want to live the way we used to live. Was always a hierarchy. Someone wins, someone loses, when we respect our elders, all of that. And it's not about not respecting people. Respect is kindness, and being kind is just so important all the time. But sometimes when we pull it from respect, we're shutting down someone else being able to question or have an opinion. And so when we do it that way, when we used to do it that way, so words like respect and selfish and all of that had a real detrimental effect on how people could listen to or support themselves. When we move it from where someone wins and someone loses, so sometimes, the respect your elders, it means you don't get a voice and I can do what I think I should be able to do. That's a win-loss situation. The same in relationships. We tend to have a win-loss. Someone gives in, and that's how we compromise. And it's not a win-win in that way. It's almost the person that not is weakest, but is in that position that they always give up, is still going to always give up. And then while you think it's fine, they're really, voiceless and lost and disconnected and lonely and sad. And to be honest, you don't want that for them. You don't want to know that your actions are making someone else feel sad. So it's moving everything away from the win-lose into the how do we make it work for both of us that is not just super fair, but super kind and super, that's when you use the word respectful, because we're really taking into consideration what other people's needs are. So there's been a shift in that, and I really like it. So have a think of what's been going on in your world for this week, and send me a DM. Is it kind of the same kind of thing going on for you? And are you seeing that shift to being much more empowered to problem solve or think a little bit differently, where we make it less divided and more collective together, where we are really moving forward, supporting not only ourselves but each other? So that's my update for this week. I will be on retreat next week, but I'll pop a little update in just before I go. Just want to send you all love. And there's still some fabulous things going on that are available. So if you need support, send me a DM. We can work something out, and I will love and leave you, and I'll see you all next week.